Has anyone ever gained anything by getting angry? Not a single person, since the dawn of history. Got that? Your life is shaped by the words you use and the thoughts you entertain. Don't listen to gossip and don't talk back. If you have time for that, I'll teach you something. Ah, everyone, it's me. That's right. That tired look on your face is written all over it. The face of someone utterly exhausted by life. I bet you got angry again today because of someone's thoughtless remark. You're kicking yourself for not fighting back, and you're stewing over the bitter regret so much you can't sleep. It's pathetic, truly pathetic. Who do you think is the master of your life? Other people? Society? Or is it those emotions, anger, fear, and sadness, that constantly run rampant through your mind? Don't be ridiculous. The master of your life must, absolutely, be you and you alone. But what do I see? One filthy word from someone else, and your mind is clouded for an entire day. A minor setback makes your blood boil so hot, you could practically steam, and you shorten your own lifespan. You're like a puppet dancing to someone else's tune. You've allowed monstrous emotions like anger and fear to sit on the throne of your heart, while you've become their servant. Stop living such a pathetic life. Today, for all of you, I want to bestow a single, powerful sword of the soul, something I seized from the jaws of death at the cost of my very life. It requires no money, no education, no status, no fame. It's an absolute secret technique based on the truth of the universe that anyone can put into practice the very moment this talk ends. The secret is this: don't talk back, just say "baka, idiot" to yourself. Don't look so stunned. You're wondering if it's some kind of spell. In a way, it's more than a spell. It's a miraculous technique that will turn your life upside down, instantly cutting through all negativity, unhappiness, illness, relationship problems, everything. By the time you finish listening, you might realize the foolishness of being a slave to anger and laughing at how easily you were swayed by other people's words. You will discover, from the bottom of your heart, that a true inner strength, as unshakable as steel and yet as calm as a placid lake, has been sleeping within you all along. Listen up. This isn't just a sermon. This is a serious bout, a challenge from me to you, to change your life from this moment forward. Open your heart and listen carefully. First off, why do I insist so strongly on not talking back? Do you believe that talking back is an act of justice, a way to protect yourself? They're wrong, so I have to correct them. They insulted me, so I can't rest until I get a comeback. Is that truly the case? Your mind, by nature, is a perfectly polished mirror with no smudges. Imagine a quiet lake in the mountains. Its surface beautifully reflects the blue of the sky, the white of the clouds, and the soaring birds, exactly as they are. What happens if a fool comes along and throws a stone into it? The surface is disturbed, ripples spread, and the beautiful scenery vanishes in an instant. Did the lake throw the stone back? No, it was only disturbed, and it takes time for it to regain its stillness. When you respond to a thoughtless word, you're like that fool, throwing a stone into your own inner lake. The other person has long since left, but you're left with a rippling, murky heart. What's the point of repeating such a foolish act? Fools fight with words and fists in a mud pit. Even if they win, all they get is a dirty sense of satisfaction and new grudges. The wise don't even step into the mud pit. Who is the true victor? The one who protects the peace and dignity of their own soul. This is the real meaning of the saying, Losing is winning. Think of your life force as 100 gold coins in your wallet. Every morning, the universe grants you 100 new, irreplaceable coins. What do you spend them on? A kind word of encouragement might be a 1-coin investment that returns as 2. Working toward your dreams might be a 10-coin investment that later becomes the foundation of a castle. So what about getting angry and talking back? That's like burning 20 gold coins instantly. What's more, the hole that anger burns in your heart causes the rest of your coins to fall out all day long. At the end of the day, a wise person's wallet is even richer, while an angry person's wallet is empty. Don't become a bankrupt of life. Talking back might seem like you're shooting an arrow at the other person, but you're actually turning that arrow around and stabbing it into your own heart. They spew venomous words to provoke you, and the moment you foolishly get angry, you fall right into their trap. Your mind and body are no longer your own. They're hijacked by anger. I hear you saying, "I understand the logic, Sensei, but I can't help getting angry." Of course, you're human. Even I used to be called General Tenpu, and would throw a punch at the slightest provocation. If you could just stop being angry by being told to, no one would ever have problems. That's why I'm giving you this technique, the Baka Idiot Method. Listen up, this is the main part. Not talking back is like a shield of defense. The Baka technique is the ultimate sword of the soul that rebuilds you from the inside out. It's not just for anger. When you're overwhelmed by anxiety, when tears run dry from deep sorrow, when fear makes your legs turn to stone before a big challenge, the very moment any negative emotion tries to take over your heart, you perform a single, simple physical action. Listen closely. First, clench your core, deep inside your body. Yes, squeeze your lower half with great force. Next, consciously let the tension out of your shoulders. When you're angry, you usually hold a lot of tension there. Just let it drop. Finally, clench your lower abdomen, a spot called the tendon, right below your belly button. At the same time as these 3 actions, hold your breath for just a moment. That's it. How's that? You can do this, can't you? It costs no money, can be done anywhere, and no one will know. You might think I'm joking. You might wonder if something so simple can truly make that boiling rage disappear. It can. Or rather, you don't make it disappear. You transform the very energy of that anger into a different kind of power. Why does this simple action have so much power? Because it engages the very laws of the universe that connect your mind and body. When you get angry, where is your awareness? It's in your head. Your head is a storm. The other person's words are like lightning, and your angry thoughts are like a gale. You're just a small boat being tossed around in the middle of that storm. The problem is trying to absorb the impact with your fragile mind. Don't take the impact with your mind. Take it with your gut. That's what I teach. The Baka technique is a physical method for forcing your out-of-control, head-based consciousness down to your center, to your stable gut, your tendon. When you clench your core and tense your lower abdomen, your awareness is forced to gather in your center. An absolute sense of stability, unshakable by any storm, wells up from your core. The chain of angry thoughts swirling in your head is instantly broken. You extinguish the source of the fire before it can spread. But some of you might say, "Sensei, I understand, and one day I'll be like that." But now is not the time. Don't be an idiot. When is that one day going to come? Tomorrow? Next year? After you retire? Where in this world is there any guarantee of a tomorrow? All you have is the past, which you cannot change, the future which doesn't yet exist, and this very moment, the present. Where does your power lie? In the past or the future? No. All your power exists only in this one point, the now. A farmer once said, "There's too much rain this spring. I can't plant the seeds. I'll wait a bit." Summer came. Now the sun is too strong. The sprouts will burn. I'll wait a bit. Fall came. The birds will start coming soon. They'll eat the harvest. I'll wait until next year. Winter came, and the farmer harvested nothing and went hungry. You are doing the same thing as that farmer. I'm too busy with work now. My family life is too difficult. I'm not mentally ready yet. You come up with every excuse in the book, putting off the most important act of all, planting the seeds to change your life. Listen up. There is no perfect time. The only perfect time is the moment you decide to act, right now. That feeling of, "I'll do it tomorrow," is your greatest enemy, keeping your life boring and unsatisfying forever. So, start from this very moment. You look skeptical. Well, that's understandable. You just see an old man full of energy, but even this old man struggled and suffered in the depths of hell. Let me tell you a bit of that story. When I was young, I was a terrible person. Full of bravado, I believed my physical strength and guts were all that mattered. During the Russo-Japanese War, as a military scout, I faced death countless times. They called me General Tenpu. I feared nothing. I honestly believed my body and spirit were invincible. What shattered that arrogant pride was an illness. Tuberculosis, the White Plague. At the young age of 30, the doctors gave up on me. I had always used strength to crush any foe, but this enemy quietly and surely consumed my life from within. The man who once hunted enemies was now prey to an invisible disease. Do you understand the humiliation? I sought out the greatest doctors and philosophers worldwide, but no one could ease my suffering or quench this thirst in my soul. Giving up, on a boat headed home, I finally knew true despair. And in the depths of that despair, I made a decision. I would stop searching for answers outside myself. I decided that if I was going to die anyway, I would rather become a fool. I would throw all my knowledge and pride into the sea and just listen to the great voice of the universe. I went alone into the deep mountains of the Himalayas. Death was all around me. I immersed myself up to my waist in freezing snowmelt and meditated day after day in a cave by a waterfall. The opponent I had to fight was my own inner weakness, anxiety, and fear. In the freezing cold and hunger, my mind screamed, regrets about the past, fears for the future. All sorts of negative thoughts assaulted me like monsters. At first, I fought them, trying to crush them with force. But the more I fought, the stronger the monsters became, driving me to the brink of despair. With all my options exhausted one day, I stopped fighting. I just sat. I just watched. I simply observed the anger, sadness, and fear that rose and vanished in my mind, like clouds in the sky, without seeing them as a part of myself. And what happened? I realized there was a small gap between the clouds of emotion and the one who was watching them. In that gap was true freedom. My true self was there. Like the eye of a hurricane, no matter how wild the storm raged around me, the center was always calm. Then, one day, after several years, the moment came suddenly. I realized something. This body and this mind I had thought were me were not my true self. This body is a magnificent ship borrowed from the universe, a precious vessel to cross the great ocean of life. But you are not the ship itself. You are the captain of that ship. A foolish captain is afraid of the creaking of the ship, despairs at the height of the waves, and is tossed about by the storm. A wise captain listens to the creaks to know where to reinforce, reads the height of the waves to chart a course, and uses the power of the storm to reach their destination faster. Other people's words are just weather reports. Remember that you are the captain. Your true identity is an unseen, never to be broken, absolute life force, the very essence of energy. What is this life force? It is the fundamental power that moves this great universe. Look at a cherry tree. In spring, it blooms all at once, without being told to. That's because the tree's life force is in harmony with the universe's. The tree doesn't try hard or struggle. It simply expresses its true nature. You are just like the cherry tree. Don't force yourself to be strong. Don't force yourself to suppress anger. You only need to quietly and deeply remember that your inner life force is one with the great life force of the universe. When you do that, you will naturally blossom, powerfully and beautifully. The moment I realized this, from the very core of my soul, do you know what happened? The tuberculosis that had tormented me for so long vanished without a trace, as if I had simply peeled off a hot piece of paper. It was the moment a man who was waiting for death at the brink of despair awakened to his inner power and became the master of his own destiny. If you're suffering from illness or physical ailments, listen closely. The cause is not outside of you. It's inside your heart. Negative emotions like anger, hatred, and fear are not just a matter of mood. They are actual, working poisons inside your body. Every time you get angry, your blood thickens, your muscles tense up to fight an invisible enemy, and your internal organs slow down. If you do that every day, it would be strange not to get sick. Doctors and medicine are important, but they are only temporary fixes. As long as you keep running the poison factory of your mind, taking medicine is just a constant battle. If you want to regain true health, you must first fill your heart with the best medicine: joy, gratitude, and love. The Baka technique is the first step toward that, the best way to instantly purify the poison in your heart. And a final word on destiny. You are quick to say, "I have bad luck," or "I was born under a bad star, so it can't be helped." Don't be ridiculous. Destiny is not a script written by someone else. Destiny is like a lump of clay. When you were born, it was a simple lump. It is you and no one else who shapes and molds it with your daily thoughts, words, and actions. If you live every day thinking, "I'm no good, I can't do it anyway," that clay will become a distorted, ugly shape. If you live with the belief that "I can do it," it will surely get better. That clay will eventually become a wonderful sculpture that everyone marvels at. Don't like your life? Don't curse your destiny. Don't curse the shape of the clay. Curse the negative heart that made it. But don't despair. The clay is still soft. You can change its shape at any time by changing your mindset. You are the sole sculptor of your own destiny. If there's someone in your life who constantly says negative things to you, don't hate them. Be grateful to them instead. The universe has sent you the perfect whetstone to sharpen the sword of your soul. Every time you meet that person, practice the Baka technique. It's a perfect opportunity to polish the mirror of your heart. The more they try to hurt you, the more they will, in the end, help your soul shine. Change your perspective. Don't be a victim. Become a spiritual trainee. Come on, let's do it together right now. This is training, a sacred ritual to forge your soul. Don't overthink it. Just move your body as I say. Do you have some kind of frustration inside you? Anger toward someone? Vague anxiety about the future? It doesn't matter. Just think of that one negative emotion. Good. Now straighten your back. Let your shoulders relax. Here comes the most important part. Strongly clench your core, deep in your gut. You can feel the power gathering there, can't you? Now, consciously focus on that power at your center and, for a moment, quietly hold your breath. 1, 2, 3. That's enough. Now, just relax and let the tension go. That's right. Where did that unpleasant feeling go? The one that was raging like a storm in your head. The storm has passed, but it doesn't end here. Now you must fill that still, clear heart with your own positive, powerful thoughts. Your heart is like a garden. The Baka technique pulled out the weeds of anger and anxiety. Now, if you do nothing in this neat, clean soil, weed seeds will just blow in again from somewhere. So, immediately plant seeds of beautiful flowers and fruit-bearing trees so that weeds don't even have time to grow. Now, think of one thing you're grateful for. The meal you just ate? The roof over your head? The very fact that you're alive and well today? Anything is fine. Fill your heart with that feeling of gratitude. And then, in your heart, say this: I am power. I am a crystal of power. I am an absolute crystal of power that can conquer anything. When you get angry, frustrated, sad, or anxious, do this reflexively. Pull out the weeds with Baka and plant good seeds with gratitude and power. If you repeat this, the garden of your life will eventually become a magnificent paradise. You will never be a slave to your emotions again. Your life might be a series of challenges and trials, but they are not there to torment you. They are there to forge your soul. Do you know how a great sword is made? It's heated in a hot flame, pounded over and over with a heavy hammer, and then instantly cooled in cold water. Through that harsh process, a simple piece of iron becomes a strong and beautiful steel blade that can cut through anything. Life's hardships are the fire and the hammer that forge your soul. And this Baka technique is the secret art of quenching that turns your soul from weak, ordinary iron into strong, flexible steel. Don't be afraid of the hammer. Don't run from the fire. Use them all to forge your own soul into the most noble and radiant sword in this world. Now, lift your head. Stop moping around with your head down. Your life starts anew from this moment. No, you will start it. Don't waste the good fortune of hearing this talk today. I am always within you, calling out to that sacred power. All you have to do is answer. If this cry from my soul has resonated even a little with yours, let's meet again here. I'll always be waiting.